Hi, this is Joyia
and Barry.
This is our first podcast for our channel. This is 60.
We're going to be exploring the way that we live as 60-year-olds, that America as a whole is also adapting. We're very active. We have different opinions on things, and it's going to be a great channel, and everyone should tune in.
We're going to be tackling issues and subjects that affect all age groups. So, what did we decide to do for today, Barry?
I think we decided to, as our first subject, we're going to look at gentle parenting. We saw this show on Netflix called The Parent Test. It was a social experiment. They had all different types of parents, helicopter parents and gentle parents and commanding parents and disciplinary parents and everything you can imagine, a whole bunch of different ones, and we were surprised by the results.
Yes. So they put them into different situations. For example, they would have hidden cameras and have a stranger knock on the door and want to come in the house, and so we were surprised. I wasn't really totally surprised, but I'm a helicopter parent. Okay. The gentle parenting children never let any strangers in the house, never went with any strangers, always thought about what they were going to do before they did it. And I also want to say the reason why we're doing this, I know that people that are 60 are not parents anymore, but you do take care of your grandkids, and I think that we need to respect the new gentle parenting thing that's going on. So Barry and I, we took a few tidbits of things that gentle parents say to their kids, and we kind of thought it was funny. So we're going to compare it to the way our parents would have reacted. So here we go.
Our parents definitely were not into gentle parenting.
No, and we could learn a little bit from each generation of parenting, but the way they did it back then, I think that it needed a lot of improvement, but so we're getting there. Okay, so we did some research and we got a few phrases, maybe 6 phrases that gentle parenting parents use, and we're going to exaggerate it, so don't worry, we're all for your gentle parenting thing to a point. Okay, so the first one is, "Oh, little Barry, please use your inside voice."
Yeah, well, I didn't really have an inside voice, and neither did the rest of my family. So my father would not really say, "Please use your inside voice." He would say something like, "Can you shut the hell up?" That was more of his "please use the inside voice." That was a nice way of saying it, but that's, kind of the way it was. If I was yelling and screaming and he didn't want to hear it, there was no inside voice.
My mother would say, "Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, you're giving me a headache."
That's kind of more the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, or "shut up." Or
shut up was a big one in my house.
Right, shut up. Okay, so the next one is when you're waking up your kids. What do they say as a gentle parent? "Shall we get up now, little Sammy? Sammy, can you please get out of bed? You're going to be late for school." My mother, "Get the hell out of bed! It's time for school."
That was pretty close to it. I would just get a head stuck into my room and say, "Get up now," in a loud voice, and that was it. You got up.
Right. You got up.
There was no asking very nicely.
No, we didn't ask. They didn't ask their kids. No.
And I never got a trophy for getting out of bed either on time.
Right. There's a lot of negotiating, but let's do the next one. "Shall we put the toys away, little Sammy, so no one trips over them?" Now, if you ever stepped on a Lego in the middle of the night, that's not going to be your reaction. What's going to be your reaction, Barry?
It's, "Christ, I told you to put this stuff away. Why is it all over the place? How many times do I got to tell you?" That was kind of all the time in my house.
I think my mother would have said, "If I step on this one more time, they're all going in the garbage."
That's right. I actually had several toys thrown in the garbage because they were just
right.
away, and he told me to pick it up, and I didn't pick it up, and it went in the garbage. There was no negotiation.
Oh my God, I love the next one. Little Sammy. I don't know where I got the name Sammy, but anyway.
Who's Sammy?
I have no idea. Little Sammy, you're getting really good at washing. Would you like Mommy to turn the water on and rub the soap in your hands for you? What would you want to say?
My mother wouldn't ask me to wash my hands before we ate. She would say, "Did you wash your hands?" That was it. Did you wash your hands? It was understood that you had to do that on your own. A lot of the stuff when I was young, you were expected to do on your own. There was no asking, begging, pleading. My mother was not going to walk over and turn the water on for me.
Right. Well, for the bath she would, so I wouldn't scald myself, and DCS would come over. So for something like that, she wouldn't do that.
Why?
So,
what would your mother say? And your father, I know, was different. He was.
Well, my parents were gentle souls. They didn't. We were allowed. We had our own opinions. We were allowed to say no. We never got a hand raised at us. Maybe we were threatened that my mother would walk around like this, but it would never happen. And then she would throw the slipper. She would throw the slipper.
You had flying slippers in your
house.
house.
We had flying slippers in my house, but basically, I mean, my parents were very passive.
They give you the look.
My mother would just give me the look. She would say, eliminate the middleman. Just start crying now. And I was scared.
With gentle parenting, there's no look.
Right.
They eliminated the look.
Right. Okay, so instead of crying, let's try 5 belly breaths.
Yeah, there was no belly breaths in my house as well.
No way.
Not only did I not get 5 belly breaths, but when I was crying, there was a reason for me to be crying, and they didn't want to hear me crying. So, much less the term, if you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. That was often said in my house.
That wasn't said in my house.
No, what did they say?
They just didn't do, it didn't even come to that, because years ago we were not, when your parents said to do something, you just did it. You just did it, and that's it. There was a different vibe back then. It's not always right, but sometimes you have to just listen to your parents. When you're in danger, there's no gentle parenting. It's don't do that. Don't touch the stove. Don't chew the bag of glass. You don't bargain when it's a situation like that. That's my opinion. But anyway, let's go to the next one.
But that's a good point, because there was no asking or pleading or begging or getting a trophy for doing it. You were told what to do, and from the time you're born, and you were expected to do that. Right. That's not done anymore. Right. That's not gentle parenting.
No. Okay, so here's the last one. This is what a gentle parent would say to their kids who hit somebody like at school. Remember to use your gentle hands. Don't hit nice. Do nice. Could you do that? Is that okay? Can you use your gentle hands, little Sammy? There's the Sammy again.
There's Sammy. I don't know who Sammy is, but when my brother was beating me up, he was a couple of years older than me, and he would hold me down and sit on me. I would cry, and he would basically not beat me up, but he would physically, he beat me up. But there was no gentle hands there.
Right.
If they saw that happening, he would get smacked a little bit, and he would cry, and then I would cry, and we're all crying, and then they would say, shut up, don't cry. Okay. And it ended with, go to your room. That was their punishment. They didn't want to see us anymore.
Right, but nowadays if you send a kid to the room, they have all these electronics and stuff. If that doesn't work, send you to the room. True. Thanks, Mom. I'll go. No problem.
Right, you got your own TV with your own cable, you got your computer, you got your iPad, you got your phone, you got everything up in your room. You live in your room.
Right. The reason why we did this is because, like I said, a lot of grandparents, I have a granddaughter, I don't agree with every way my daughter does anything, and I didn't always respect it either. But now I'm starting to realize that you know what? Nobody told me how to do it. So I'm not going to tell my kid how to do it. I'm going to try to respect it as much as I can. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I have a great 8-year-old granddaughter. She's going to be 9 in a month. And she's just, the way my daughter's doing it, she worships her mother. She does everything her mother asks her to do. She listens and she thinks about it before making a decision. Everyone's going to make a bad decision. But I think I respect that parenting style. And
So, to that point with your granddaughter, I never had my own children. I think I would have been a good parent, but I never had the opportunity. I see the way your grown children are with you, and your parenting style was somewhere in between our parents' generation and with a little bit of pushing towards independence. I'll put it that way. Not gentle parenting, but you allowed your kids to be a little more independent. And the sign of success these days is that 2 grown children, both extremely successful in their own lives, and they both still love you.
right.
That
But
is a huge success.
I was a helicopter parent. And so I see that now with my son. He wants to try everything. Oh my God, I wouldn't let my kids, I mean, not that I didn't want them to have fun. I was always worried, you're going to get hurt, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You know, I was a single parent, and that's the way I felt about it. But now looking back at it, now I see my son, he's skiing. He wants to skydive. If he does it, I'll kill him. But he does when he wants to try everything. And I think that's where I made my mistake. That's why we all have to be open to new ideas and new ways of doing it.